Hey everybody, it's Brian Scott here. This is the task series assignment for Kin 293 and we are the group isolators. So my movement here that I'm working on is a simplification of our overhand throw. That's a movement we chose as a group, and now I'm going to break it down and make it a little bit easier. So the group we're working with here is elementary students, grades 3 to 5 roughly. You could actually simplify this a little bit more to bring it down to a lower level, or extend it a bit to bring it to a slightly older level. And we are going to make the assumption that all these students have the basic concept of throwing already. So we're not teaching the throwing movement, but we're simplifying the movement they already know. So if you have a student that has some trouble with this, there's a really couple simple activities that I've kind of come up with that'll help. Hopefully teach concept, work on accuracy, build some confidence in the student, and get them, a little more proficient in that throwing skill. To do this, we don't need a whole lot, but one thing we do need is we need a big wall. So behind me, nice big flat wall. That's something we're going to need because we want to have room to bounce a ball off that. So this started off as a pass game in our basic section here. We talked about passing back and forth to one another. We are going to eliminate the partner in this because the partner is a variable that could be detrimental to the student in some cases. If you're throwing towards your partner and you're not confident in your skills and you're missing them and they're laughing, having fun, it's not building you up, it's actually taking you down. So we want to build you up a little bit. And how we're going to do this is we eliminate the partner. If you want to do it with a partner, that's fine too. This can be a partner game. You can throw the ball off the wall to your partner and they can throw it back and you can catch it. But for nice and simple purposes today, this is going to be a single person game. So we have to determine whether that person throws left or right handed, and there's a couple simple tasks you can do to identify that. But let's say we've identified that already and we need to start implementing this practice. There's a couple things we need. We talked about the wall. Second thing we need is the object to throw. So that standard issue, squishy, bouncy, red ball. Nice, soft, safe. If you miss the catch and you catch it in the mouth, not that big of a deal. You're not busting your teeth out or anything like that. We had that big wall we talked about. We got the ball, sidewalk chalk. Nice, simple 4-pack at Walmart, 99 cents. That's your COVID special. And one more item, and that's going to be some water. Lots of purposes for that. Firstly, you're thirsty, have a drink. Secondly, since we're going to be using to write on the asphalt and the school walls with the chalk, we want to wash that off. So especially the stuff on the school walls, we don't want it looking like graffiti. The rain might be able to take care of the stuff on the basketball courts or wherever you may be playing, sidewalks. But I like to try and wash that off too. And water serves one more purpose in this game. So if the student is building a bit more confidence, getting a little bit better with their throwing, and then wants to work on accuracy a bit, if you actually take that water, soak down this ball, it's porous, it's actually going to take a bunch of water in. If you throw it against the wall, it's going to squish out some water, leave a nice mark against the wall, and that gives you reference points for where your throws are hitting. Now the ball may not bounce back to you as well once you get it all soaked with water, but using the water to create marks on the wall to leave reference points for you for accuracy is going to be a nice thing. You can see improvement with that. Overall, it's fairly simple, but to help those kids who maybe have struggling with body positioning, how to stand when throwing, I've also used the sidewalk chalk to help create a couple little cues to help the student. Now, if they're throwing with their right hand, a more traditional throwing stance, what we can do is we can put some marks on the ground. And when you're throwing with your right hand, your left foot's always going to be forward. Your right's going to be at the back. You're going to plant on your right, throw with your right hand. So to remember that, what I've done here is created some reference points. Now I've got a left on the back, right on the front, and then here I've got a left on the front, right on the back. And this is going to be for the students who are left-handed or right-handed or undecided. They can try both ways and they have reference points to see what they can how they are most comfortable when they stand. I can't throw with my left hand, I know that. I can throw with my right. So my left foot would be forward, and I would place my left foot in the middle of that marker, right foot, middle of that marker on the back, balls in hand, put a target on the wall right there, and that's what we're aiming for. So this ball here will simply bounce off the wall, come back to you, you can catch it, you gotta chase it down, not a big deal. As skills progress over time, you're gonna have that ball coming back to you fairly straight. You're throwing it on an angle, a little inaccurately, it's gonna bounce off to the left or right. But as you build confidence, build skills, it's gonna come directly back to you nice and straight. And then if you wanna go for accuracy, you start adding in the water, soak down the ball. It's a fun way of teaching this, refining some skills without making the student feel like they're inadequate. Some of my best learning that I've done is occurred when I didn't even realize I was learning. It was a game that I learned through. Discovery-based, play-based, whatever that may be. When you learn, you have fun doing something, you're fully engaged, you learn it without even realizing you're learning it. And those I find have stuck with me the most. And at the end of it, you're like, oh man, I just learned something cool here. I just worked on a skill. That's good. And this will eventually build confidence in the student. They can go into the games with their classmates, start the one-on-one pass back and forth like we talked about in the basic. Or if they even get better, we start extending it, taking those steps back. You got 5 passes back and forth, catch, back it up, extend the distance, right? So it's a fun way of doing it without making the person feel like they're not good at something, that they're different than everybody else, or they're being singled out because they're not as good. So it's just a fun way of doing things. And that's simplification for the task series assignment for the isolators. Thanks, guys.